Deputy Aylward, 30 seconds to introduce.
Thank you, Lashko Cora. And like prior questions, I want to ask the Minister for Justice and Equality the number of Gardaí in East Garda Station in Carlow, Kilkenny as of the 1st of November 2017, the number of Community Garda in the division as a whole, the number of Garda reserves and the number of new recruits assigned to the division since recruitment resumed in 2014.
Minister Flanagan.
Notwithstanding the responsibility on the Garda Commissioner for the distribution of Gardaí throughout the state, I have provided for the record a breakdown in tabular form of the detailed information requested by the Deputy as of the 31st of October 2017, the latest date for which information is readily available. The Garda strength in the Kilkenny-Carlow division as of that date was 324, of whom 91 are community Gardaí. There are also 26 Garda reserves and 31 Garda civilian staff attached to the division. When appropriate, the work of local Gardaí is supported by a number of Garda national units, such as the National Bureau of Criminal Investigation, the Armed Support Units, the Garda National Economic Crime Bureau and the Garda National Drugs and Organised Crime Bureau. As Deputy Aylward will be aware, the Government is committed to ensuring a strong and visible police force throughout the country. To achieve this, our overall plan is that we will have a Garda workforce of 21,000 personnel by 2021, which will comprise 15,000 Garda members, 2,000 Garda reservists and 4,000 civilians. We are making real and tangible progress on achieving this goal, having regard to the fact that the Garda College in Templemore was closed for a period back in 2010. I am also pleased that Budget 18 maintains a high level of investment for the Garda workforce to ensure that overall plan is implemented. I want to say that as far as Carlow and Kilkenny are concerned, I would be happy to provide the Deputy with detailed figures, totalling 324 in Carlow, 86 in Carlow Town, 15 in Tullow, Kilkenny, Kilkenny Region, 130, Kilkenny City, 11, Castlecomer, in the Deputy's own area, Garda figures for Thomastown area, Bennett's Bridge, Glenmore, Gores Bridge, Graignamanagh, 12 in Mooncoin, 38 in Thomastown, a total of 62 in the Thomastown district alone, incorporating stations in Bennett's Bridge, Glenmore, Gores Bridge, Graignamanagh, Kilmaganny, Mooncoin, Mulnavat, Piltown and Thomastown.
The first supplementary.
Be happy to keep the Deputy fully informed of developments in the Kilkenny-Carlow region.
Provision of an increased Gardaí, in particular in South Kilkenny, as you have mentioned, and at my own parish, Ballyhale Station and Stonyford stations next door, which were unmanned for a few years and actually are now manned. And I want to, both of these stations are situated in my own locality and were stressed for resources in previous years, so I want to acknowledge that. I'm delighted to see them operating at full potential again, and we're now seeing a more strong and robust Garda presence in these communities and the surrounding areas. Minister, I also want to recognise the work of the Chief Superintendent of the Carlow Kilkenny Division and the local Superintendent in Thomastown stations that you mentioned. The lines of dialogue between Garda and the local community are getting stronger by the day, and I am delighted to see the proactive work being done in terms of improving community policing for these areas. However, I would like to raise the need for an increase in Garda Reserve's numbers for Carlow and Kilkenny. The Garda Reserve has an important function in assisting the work of the main force and interacting with local communities. It also allows citizens to make a positive contribution to their communities and enhance the effectiveness of community policing. There needs to be more members of the Garda Reserve to assist the main force. This will free up main resources. As of the 1st of December 2016, there are only 695 members of the Garda Reserve. Of these, only 303 claimed allowance. That is to say, they had completed 208 hours of service. That's bad, Minister. In other words, of the reserves, only 208 or 303 claimed allowance to say they get the full rate. I'd like you to pass a comment on that, Minister.
I want to advise the Deputy that I have some concerns at the operation of the Garda Reserve, and I do see great potential there for increasing numbers to help and support communities and in Garda Síochána in the delivery of a service. There are 26 Garda Reserves in Kilkenny. The strategic review that is currently underway I expect to be completed and with me by the end of the year, and I would be happy to inform the House further as to the plan in that regard. I will say to the Deputy that on the matter of new recruits from Templemore, New Gardaí, Kilkenny has been favoured with 44 such, bringing the number in the Kilkenny Carlow division to 324, higher now than any year since 2008. And I believe it's important in the context of ongoing policing that further consideration is given, having regard to the submissions of the Deputy, who I know is in contact with the Joint Policing Authority in Kilkenny, and I would be happy as Minister to assist in any.
Supplementary.
Minister, we must ramp up our response to rural crime. In my opinion, the national statistics showing a reduction in burglaries and related offences are not reflected the true situation on the ground in rural Ireland. The people of these communities feel isolated and forgotten. It is only a matter of time before we begin to see serious incidents of vigilantism occurring around the country. This is not an exaggeration, Minister. With this in mind, and this is an old hobby horse of mine, I keep mentioning it every and even as late as last week here in the Dáil again. I want to discuss the failing by the government, which was in the programme from government, to honour the commitment of the CCTV cameras, which will be erected in all major junctions onto motorways. I keep hitting that the whole time. To be clear, Minister, I'm not talking about the community-based CCTV Grant Aid scheme, which was launched last April. I am talking about the rollout of a CCTV-based crime-fighting system being erected on our motorways, which are being used by the criminal gangs to get in and out of the communities which are terrorising our local areas. And as I said in Kilkenny, and I won't give examples, we have 2 motorways going. They're coming from towns and cities, coming in, robbing, half hour and gone back up the motorway, and I think we need that CCTV camera systems on all junctions coming off our motorways to counteract this.
Final response from Minister.
Yeah, I'm very conscious of what the Deputy says. Indeed, my own constituency has a similar profile to that of my neighbours in Kilkenny and Carlow, and there are new challenges being faced in the context of the speed with which the motorway network has helped mobility. But I want to assure Deputy Aylward that there will be a significant Garda presence right throughout Kilkenny and Carlow over the winter months. Operation Thor, involving a broad range of activities to tackle organised crime in both urban and rural areas, working with communities in order to prevent crime. The comprehensive operation, supported by enhanced government investment in Garda resources, including almost €100 million for Garda overtime. We've also invested heavily in the Garda fleet and the many new vehicles in the Kilkenny-Carlow area, a total of 720 coming on stream since the start of 2015, and the provision of €46 million for new Garda vehicles under the capital plan of 1621. Under Operation Thor, we've seen 92,000 targeted checkpoints and 71,700 crime prevention patrols nationwide. Right. However, I want to assure the Deputy.
We have to get other deputies. Deputy Pat Casey to
also be happy to advance the issue of CCTV in communities as well.
Similar to previous questions, Minister.